Howdy folks, this is Heather's Chubby Hubby. You might remember me from such humorous videos as It's a Butt Gauge and Another Damn Video. Today, unfortunately, I have something of very seriousness to bring to your attention. Several months ago, I received a box of rocks of Beautiness and Pretty from the Rock Shed. And in conjunction with that, I decided to let you guys pick the first 3 batches of rock that were going through my new 3-pound Lortone tumbler barrels. Votes were cast, ballots were counted, a notebook was used. Unfortunately, a notebook was also misplaced and misremembering happened. The top vote getters were Fancy Jasper, Moss Agate, and Aventurine, Green Aventurine. Unfortunately, I remembered it as Fancy Jasper, Green Aventurine, and Girasol Opal. No chicanery, just my bad memory and a slightly misplaced notebook. So, unfortunately, that's what we have going. I know this is the beginning segment of the series. I can give you a little spoiler alert. I got the stage 1 done and decided they needed to go through another round of stage 1, and of course the barrels were, I'd lost volume, so what I ended up doing was I'm doing another round of stage 1 with different rocks of the same kind but different rocks to so then I'll have enough to do and go on to stage 2. So in a nutshell, I goofed and I apologize. I come to you today hat in hand to ask your forgiveness, and I hope you enjoy the series. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and rock lovers of all ages, what you see before you is the results of our Vote the Rock contest. Well, it really wasn't a contest. There was no prizes awarded, at least so far. We have here Fancy Jasper at 1 pound 6.6 ounces. We have next the Girasol Opal at 1 pound 6.1 ounces. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, we have the Green Aventurine at 1 pound 6.3 ounces. Now, my scale was cooperating today, that's why I weighed these. It's been acting badly, so I don't know. When I go to do the next stage, we may have a weigh-in depending on how it's acting, but this is the first segment of these. I'm going to get these loaded up in the 3-pound barrels with some 60-90 grit and water, and they're going to start their journey to Shiny Town. One thing I wanted to mention before I go any further, though, I tried to do the best I could to get what I consider in what's called a balanced load. That means some big pieces, some medium pieces, and some smaller pieces if you got them. It was a little bit tricky with the Aventurine because the small pieces were chips. They were very small, so some of that got a big piece and then a medium piece and then a slightly smaller medium piece. But hopefully I've got enough different shapes that when they're running through they'll get ground against each other good. Some of these, again, this may not be much of anything by the time it's done, but you still, I don't know, I guess I'd consider that a chip too, but I know with that Aventurine, looking at it, it was like, I think I'm going to end up with a lot more chips with that stuff than this. So before I get the grit loaded up, I wanted to show you something. This is my Easter Basket Barrel Barometer. Yes, you can laugh at that name, but this is a kind of a shameless copy from Michigan Rocks. He uses I think it's a piece of 3-inch PVC pipe as a depth gauge, but I thought the handle was cool, and well, that one's a little off. Come on, there you go. Make me look bad, but it's just to give you a rough idea. I mean, it's not perfect, but that should give you about a 2/3 load. That's 1 3/4 inches. So from the top lip down 1 3/4 inches, and from the bottom of this lip, or the inner lip I should say, to the bottom of the barrel was 4 16ths, and after a lot of math and calculations, my wife told me 2 3/4 inches would be a 2/3. So hence this little thing. It's just a guide. I think sometimes I look at stuff and it's like, well, it looks about right. I'm a little off one way or the other, so take a little of the human factor out. Well, they're loaded up. I went with 3 tablespoons for each barrel. I'm still kind of struggling with that because it says a pound or a tablespoon. Generally, the recipe is a tablespoon or 2 per pound of rock. So, but then most everybody that uses 3-pound barrels throws 3 to 4 tablespoons in there. So I'm doing 3, and we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. So let me get these buttoned up and I will be right back. Well, there they go, folks. 7 days from now we will do some barrel checking and see what kind of results we got. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that took the time to vote. It was much appreciated. We'll be doing that again in the future. I have another unboxing video. It'll probably be released before this will, where I announce the winners, but just in case, that's why I made a big deal about it at the beginning. So anyway, we'll go through some other rocks and we'll put her up for another vote. So I thank y'all for watching. We'll see you in 7 days. Howdy, folks. Well, it's been another 7 days. It's time to take a look at some rocks. These guys have been spinning for 302,400 times. These barrels spin at 30 RPM for those keeping track at home. I gotta be honest with you guys, and we're gonna have some fun with this. When I filled these barrels up, I at one point thought I need to make tags for each one, at least with the initials of what rock's in it. I only basically needed to do one that had all the info, grit stage, how many days, etc., etc. But I was going to put little tags on the other 2 so I knew what was there. Now, I goofed, and instead of Montana Moss Agate, there's Girasol Opal, Fancy Jasper, and Green Aventurine. What you don't realize yet is, again, I didn't mark the barrels, so I don't know what's going to be in this first barrel. So, while I'm going over and grabbing the barrel, I need you to put in the comment your guess as to what the first barrel is going to be. Was it going to be Girasol, Green Aventurine, or Fancy Jasper? The person that gets it in the chat first, I'll send you a 40% silver $50. All right, hopefully I gave you guys long enough to do it. I'll put my email address in the the thing at the top of the chat, which I can't think of the name of right now for some reason. But that spot up at the top of the chat, you guys know it. Anyway, email up above, email me your address, and to the winner gets a 40% Kennedy. So let's see what we got. We got foam, and I'd have to say it looks like, if you guess Girasol Opal, by God, you're getting a 40% $50 if you got it in the chat first. Yep. And I just grabbed one at random. Again, I didn't mark any of them anyway, because, well, I forgot to mark any, so it wouldn't have mattered if I grabbed them in order or not, I guess. But there we go. There's the Girasol Opal. Congratulations, winner. Alright, it's time for mystery barrel number 2. Now, if you want to guess on this one for funsies, go ahead and do it, but we're not going to guess on the third one, because if you that one should be pretty obvious by then. But anyway, go ahead and put your guesses in the chat just for the heck of it. I think we got Fancy Jasper as the winner on that one. Yep, pretty sure it's Fancy Jasper. That's kind of cool. Thought that was some grit, but it looks like a little I don't know if it's milky or clearish. Kind of pretty stuff. Looks like it smoothed up a lot compared to when we started. Yeah, it's kind of cool looking. I don't think this lighting's the greatest for this over here, but that's where we are. I gotta figure out a way to get some auxiliary lighting fixed up in this area, but hopefully you guys can see it good enough. So cool, let me finish rinsing these off and we'll get the last one out, whatever that is. And lastly, but not certainly leastly, we have green aventurine, or at least hopefully it's green aventurine. It's going to be kind of funny if it's not green aventurine. The mistakes will just continue, I guess. Somebody snuck in and put the different rocks in. So we'll see. Yeah, I had firm intentions of labeling, and like I said, I kind of clucked up. It was a shiny chicken moment. I clucked up. You guys know how that happens sometimes. You got the best intentions, but you kind of just cluck up. This stuff is kind of got an odd residue in there. I don't know, that must be something from these rocks, but it just looks odd. It's not one to rinse off real well either. I'll go ahead and get these checked and put them in the bubble bath stage overnight, but I don't know that I'll show that. I'll probably start just doing, like, I'll show it once during a series just as a refresher, but I'm trying to figure out ways to make my what feel like really long videos a little bit shorter. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know if you can see this weird. Oh, that's not. There you go. There's some of it. This is kind of an odd, I don't know, residue or something. But there's a heck of a color variance too. Look like they all rounded out pretty nicely, but anyway. Let me get these rinsed off and I'll be right back with you guys. Well, here's the status, Gladys. After giving the Fancy Jasper, Girasol Opal, and Green Aventurine bubble bath overnight with the borax and a semi-thorough inspection, I've decided that they all could stand another run in 60-90 grit. A little more smoothing. Hopefully, you know, some of this fracturing might come out. You know, just take some of the issues out. Problem is that now, especially the Girasol and the Aventurine, this one's not as bad. The Jasper didn't lose as much volume, but the barrels are underloaded. Well, they say good rock-to-rock contact for stage 1 because you want that good grindiness. Normal fix for that is just take more rough and throw it in with your already basically starting to get really nice soft edges, stuff that's tumbled for 7 days. And I'm not a brave man, folks. I couldn't do it. Honestly, I couldn't do it. I had the rock poised over the drum, loaded with all this nice soft stuff, and I was like, let it go, and I couldn't. So you can tell there's a lot of difference between the, you know, these have gone for 7 days, this is brand new out of the bag. And so what I did, I went ahead and I just reloaded all 3 barrels with another round of the exact same stones. And my thought is, okay, they'll probably maybe need a longer run also, but now I have makeup stones that have a similar texture. And I know people do this, and it's probably just me being stupid, but that looks like it looks like going after somebody's sanding. They've just finished with like 200 grit or 120 grit with 80 grit. I mean, these are sharp, jagged, pointy edges. So that's what I decided to do. Hopefully I'm not too full of it, but like I said, so 7 more days, and we'll have enough then that we can redo a full batch of all like with like finish wise rocks for a second round of stage 1, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully this time I marked the barrels so there won't be any more oopsies. Whoopsie. But other than that, I think we'll wrap this up. Stay tuned for stage 2 coming at you. Thank you for watching.